Hello again and welcome back to The Front Row, a minor production of the First Congregational Church in South Pekin, where our intent is to bring snippets from our Sunday morning message into your week. We are continuing our conversation around the spiritual discipline of prayer. We started off by talking about discipline and our pursuit of the fruits of discipline, even though there can be some difficulty in that journey. And then yesterday we opened a bit of a can and acknowledged the fact that our relationship and our conversation with God the Father is heavily influenced by our relationship and conversations with our earthly fathers. And then that can really get in the way for some people. And I encourage you to get somebody involved in your life to unpack that and to process that and to deal with that and to be healed in that conversation so that you can approach a more healthy relationship with God the Father. Today, I want to introduce the first of three concepts, ideas, thoughts around this discipline of prayer. There is no way we can cover the gamut. Prayer is too deep, too personal, too comprehensive, too diverse to cover in a 20 or 30-minute message, let alone on a video podcast. So we're just going to touch on these three things today, tomorrow, and the next day that I want to encourage you in this pursuit of the discipline of prayer. And the first is to embrace it as a discipline. And what that means is that it takes work. It takes challenging yourself. It takes an acknowledgement of the fact that we don't know how to do this well right out of the gate. It doesn't come natural to us. That's the basis of a discipline, is we are, in a sense, forcing ourselves to do something that doesn't come natural to us until it does become more natural for us, and we then can enjoy the fruit of that ongoing, repetitive, over time consistency of a discipline. And so if we can embrace prayer as a discipline, and we're a little bit more understanding the fact that we're not going to do it perfectly, that it gives us permission to try some things and maybe not be so good at it, to make mistakes, to even have some failures in it, but to come back and say, I know this can work and I'm going to continue to work at it until I become more proficient in this discipline. Even the disciples, who, remember, they were Jewish men. They grew up in the church of their day, if you will. They knew how to pray. But in Luke chapter 11, verse 1, we're told this, that one day Jesus was praying in a certain place, and when he finished, one of his disciples said to him, Lord, teach us to pray as John taught his disciples. You see, the disciples, who were well versed in their religion and their general practices, they saw something in Jesus and his relationship to the Father and said, I want more of that. Jesus, would you teach us how to pray? Because I know how to pray. I know the process. I know the words, but I don't know what that is. Can you teach us how to pray in deep relationship with God the Father? And that's, of course, where Jesus brought out the Lord's Prayer, and he taught them a particular way of thinking and a mindset and a heart set that goes into that conversation with God. But my point here is that these men that had grown up in a deeply seated religious practice of prayer acknowledged the fact that they didn't know how to pray, and they needed to be taught a discipline of prayer. So what gives in our lives? How can we, in humility, appreciate the fact that we need to learn and grow in this practice of prayer? Something to think about anyway. Blessings to you. Have a fantastic rest of your day.